Hello and welcome back to The Art of the Mentally Ill, a series where I take my experiences with mental illness and mental hospitals and psychosis and I turn it into pieces of art for you all to enjoy. So, who am I and why am I making mentally ill art? Well, put very simply, I am Kamiano Arts and I suffer from a psychotic disorder that is on the schizophrenia spectrum, which means that I've experienced both psychotic symptoms, depression, and anxiety. Not just, why did I say both? I experienced those three things. I also have two anxiety disorders, which apparently the people in the mental hospital said that I showed signs of, which I don't really see. And I also suffered from an eating disorder and was even put on eating disorder watch while I was in the mental hospital for my second time. So that is why I love to cope with my experiences and my illnesses by creating art. So without further ado, let's get into the art. This is what I like to call the one with many faces. Now, when I was coming off of an antipsychotic called Geodon, I was experiencing very vivid psychotic symptoms, mainly being psychotic symptoms in the form of visual hallucinations. Visual hallucinations are the type of hallucinations that come obviously from visuals. They can be many things. They can be shadow people, they can be menehune, like I experienced multiple times. They can be walls breathing, and that also falls into a little subcategory of auditory hallucinations where I see a wall breathing and I can physically hear it breathing. When people mainly talk about hallucinations, they probably are talking about auditory, but there are also visual hallucinations. And there are also olfactory hallucinations, which are smells that aren't actually there. There's tactile hallucinations that it's touch that isn't actually there. And finally, for taste, I'm not sure what it's called, but some people have said that they experience tasting things like burnt wood and stuff like that. And it's interesting, but it's not what I experience. What I experience are visual, tactile, and auditory hallucinations. Visuals being the most common, tactile being the second most common, and auditory being the third most common. So in that little order. So I experience auditory hallucinations in a much less degree than when it comes to visual hallucinations. Because when I see faces coming out of walls, I'm not hearing the faces, I see the faces. So my visual hallucinations are a lot more common than my tactile and auditory hallucinations. But that being said, one of my main hallucinations that I see are faces where there shouldn't be faces. I also see human body parts where there shouldn't be human body parts, but faces are the most common. I'll see faces in things that aren't organic, like walls and light bulbs and trees. I would see them in the sky sometimes, where imagine you're seeing a plane pass by and on the side of the plane you see a face. It's weird. It's really odd, but it's something that I've learned to live with. You know, when you go outside and you look at something and you don't immediately recognize it, you look at it and it takes your brain a second to process what you're looking at. Like maybe you hear a car beeping its horn, so you turn your head and you look at the car and your brain processes, yes, that's a car. It's a similar thing to that. It's where I look at somewhere because something has gotten my attention. I look at it, and it takes a second for my brain to process it. And in that split second that my brain takes to process it, I end up seeing something that isn't actually there. And eventually, I will be able to break eye contact with whatever it is. For example, in this drawing, it's people's faces being on walls. I'll be able to look at the face, analyze the face, comprehend the face, and then turn away and proactively move to not further dwell on hallucinations. Because I find that the more you dwell on a hallucination, the more complicated things get. If you dwell on a hallucination, chances are it's probably going to get a lot worse. And it's not to say that ignoring it makes it better, but ignoring it at least gives you the freedom to not acknowledge it. And I find that sometimes that makes it better, sometimes it doesn't make it better. It really depends on the episode that you're having. But that being said, I know that a lot of people don't really experience visual hallucinations. I know a lot of people suffer from auditory hallucinations, which also play a part in this piece of art. This piece of art is based upon those faces that I see in the walls, that I see in trees, light bulbs, post lights, trees. I think I said trees. These are the faces that I see. Sometimes they talk to me, sometimes they don't talk to me. But whenever they do talk to me, their teeth are jagged and sharp and yellow. I have other hallucinations where it's mainly just a humanoid figure, which sometimes its face appears in the faces in the walls. Regardless of where exactly I see them, they come up nearly every single day. And even though I'm on medication, that doesn't make them go away. Whenever I experience a visual hallucination, I stop and think to myself, this is not normal, but I'm gonna proactively choose to separate myself from the situation, use non-judgmental thinking, and use my coping skills that I learned in the mental hospital to properly assess the situation and move forward, which is what I always try to do. I try to take everything that I've experienced in stride and move forward, because I find that moving forward is the only way that you can conquer your demons. You need to acknowledge it and then move forward with it. You don't run away from it. A lot of the time people misunderstand move forward with it as run away from it. It's not. It's being able to take your experiences, take the pain, take the suffering, take the depression, anxiety, psychosis, anything. Take it all and move forward with it, which is what I try to do. And it's something that I hope all of you are able to learn how to do by watching my videos, because I know if I can get over the bullshit that happens inside of my brain, then I know for sure you can get over the bullshit that's happening in your brain. I promise you things get better. So that is that. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. This video is a little bit of a different one. It's more animated and drawing style focused, which I do enjoy doing, and it's what I originally made this originally made this channel for, but I don't really do it as much as I would like to. But if you enjoyed this, drop a like, drop a follow, or a subscribe. Hit all those bells and whatever that YouTubers say at the end of their videos. I genuinely don't know or care. I hope that you have a good day. If you're in an emergency, I have emergency links down below. Check out the rest of my channel. I promise you won't be disappointed. I have emergency links down below. My social media accounts are down there as well in case you want to DM me. And I hope that you have a good one. Ahui ho, malama pono.